to the town hall session. We had earlier on asked you whether the youth have anything to celebrate just 6 days to the International Youth Day. The government says they've created jobs. The youth say they don't see those jobs. So where are the jobs? We'd like to hear your views. Use the hashtag Monday Reporter. Trevor Mbija Twaiga Moura will sample some of them beginning right now. Pius Kiprop says currently the education system is one of memorizing and regurgitating in exam. Too much theory, nearly zero practical skills. The jobs are there, but for the well-connected. See another one here. Kemei Desmond says maybe the current education system, which is in the place, but our 844 system didn't. Because most of the work we are doing, we had to learn differently due to the changing dynamics in business. Let's see another one here. If we have a quick sample of what you're saying online. Thank God Jugush says the high unemployment rate in Kenya has weighed both mentally and financially to the youth. Most can't afford meals, they can't even afford better healthcare, and marrying has become an extreme sport to the youth. All right, Jugush there. Let's see. Tonjeri says, one thing with the unemployment I came to learn about is that the job market cannot absorb all the graduates. In addition, they do graduate annually. All right, let's see if I get another one here. The Dan Kurgat says there's absolutely nothing to celebrate for the Kenyan youth. Only a few who have well-connected networks survive. The rest of us have to gamble our way out. It's never easy. The frustration of the youth there. And Charlie Popey says, please ask CS Margaret Kobia whether the 5% persons with disabilities workforce policy is being adhered to in government agencies and parastatals. Well, Charlie, that question will be asked directly to the CS, who's now with Waiga Moura and the town hall session. They're live at the Two Rivers Mall along Kiambu Road. Tweet at Trevor Mbija Twaiga Moura. Use the hashtag Monday Report. You can also tag at Mashirima Kapombe as well. Higgs, over to you.
Indeed, Trevor, the countdown to International Youth Day is on, and there will be a lot of activities over the next couple of days, even as the world marks that particular international holiday on the 12th of August 2019. Now, this year's theme is transforming education, and I guess that's a play on the fact that can education transform, and can education be transformed to better help those who go through that system to be able to access the job market and to be able to work properly with the way in which the world is set up at this particular time. And earlier on, we spoke to CS Margaret Kobia, who heads the Public Service, Youth and Gender Affairs Ministry, and she gave a rosy outlook for young people in Kenya in 2019. But what are the statistics on the ground? Well, according to an economic survey 2019 by the National Bureau of Statistics, about 5.5 million Kenyans, majority of who are youth below the age of 35, are unemployed. In addition, the World Bank says that Kenya has to create at least 900,000 jobs annually between now and 2025 to absorb the high number of youths joining the job market. We'll get deep into those issues shortly, and let me introduce my panel, and I'll start from the far right there where we have Josiah Muriasi, who is the CEO of the Youth Enterprise Development Fund. Josiah, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And of course, right next to him, we have Naomi Onyango, Innovation Challenge Officer, Kenya Youth Employment Opportunities Project. Naomi, karibu sana.
Fante.
Okay, we also have Roy Sasaka, CEO, National Youth Council. Roy, karibu. And last but not least, Professor Margaret Kobia, CS, Public Service, Youth and Gender Affairs. Welcome to the program as well.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We also have our audience, and you'll be getting to hear from them. They have many questions for my guests my panelists who are here in front of us. But let's get straight into the discussion. And Roy, Josiah, I want to begin with you because you had a ministry that's talked about quite a bit, and that is that of course is the Youth Enterprise Development Fund. And I know that you have beneficiaries here who will be sharing success stories in terms of what they've been able to gain from the services that your body provides. But there are those who also say this, that as much as there are success stories, there are those who say that it's a drop in the ocean compared to the challenges that the youth face in the country. How sure are we that we're not celebrating the success of a few while many out there face challenges? How do you respond to those who say that, even as you speak about the successes of the Youth Enterprise Development Fund?
Thank you so much. First and foremost, the Youth Fund is one of the government interventions that seeks to promote youth empowerment in this country. The fund was initiated in the year 2007, and over time we have been able to engage the young people through the various programs that we've had in the fund. The most important thing that we do, apart from the financing, is that also we support youth through enterprise skill enhancement. This is where the young people come, they are trained, and then they are able to engage in business. We don't only deal with giving the finances. Since inception, the fund has been able to disperse a total of 12.8 billion Kenyan shillings.
This is over a period of how many years?
That's over a period of 13 years.
13 years.
The number of youth who have benefited from that is 1.9 million.
1.9 million.
Definitely, when you compare 1.9 million youth against the total youth population of about 26 million, I agree with you that there's a drop in the ocean. But among these 1.9 youth that we have given the finances and the skill enhancement programs to engage in business, they have also recruited other young people who do business with them or through their organizations. There are also those youths who come purposely to seek the skill, not the finances. They have the finances, but the main challenge they have within their business setup is the skills. So we provide all that. There are those ones who come to us not because they lack the funds, but because they want their products to be sold. So we help that class of youth to link their product to the market. So we are doing a lot of issues for the youth, so that we don't only, because we cannot have definitely enough money for the young people of this country. The one that come for money, they get that money. The one who come for business linkages, we do that for them. The ones who come...
So for those who would say it's a drop in the ocean, you say that there are direct and indirect effects. And maybe the indirect is hard to quantify. Is that what you're trying to say? That whereas you can say we've given 1.9 million youth, you believe those 1.9 million youth have empowered other young people. Is that...
Yes, definitely they have done that.
That's what you want to... Okay. Yes. Now, I also want to come to you and the work that you do with the Kenya Youth Employment Opportunities Project. And I believe you have numbers on how many young people you've trained, some of whom I believe are here today. And I would almost pose a similar question to you, and I want to hear from you on this one. When young people go through your training program,
yes,
is there a guarantee that they will get employment? Is there a connection between, or they will be able to create jobs? What sort of promises do you give them as you take them through that training? And for the benefit of our audience who may not have gone through the training, for those who are watching, briefly explain what that training is and then link it to how they can earn a living off that training.
Okay, thank you very much for that. The Kenya Youth and Employment Opportunities Project is a 5-year project that is funded with loan from the World Bank, and its main objective is to increase the earning opportunities of young people. It is a project that has 5 different products, and it cuts across, its implementation is done by 4 different government agencies. Amongst the products, we have the training and internship. We also have activities that are out to support job creation. And through the Kenya Youth and Employment Opportunities, we have managed to train 20,661 youth in various vocational trade areas.
You have the numbers till 20,661.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. In various trade areas. And the employment tracking, about 61% of them have managed to get somewhere to be employed. And we also have the business development services that we have managed to offer to 499 young entrepreneurs, just to support them so that they can increase what they are getting from the already existing businesses. And on top of that, we also have grants, which we have so far issued to 8,499 young persons. And that comes to a total of about 215,214,000.
Okay. So is your success pegged on the number of people you've trained, or on what those you've trained have been able to achieve out there? How do you rate yourselves when you look at success, efficiency, etc.?
Definitely the biggest is the number of youth who will now be able to stand up on their own to be able to earn a living, either through getting employment somewhere, but we are also encouraging them to get into employment so that they can also employ others.
Okay, you're trying to them to do that.
Yeah.
Let me bring in Roy Sasaka, CEO, National Youth Council, also to talk to us a little bit, and I'm sure your members are here as well, about what the National Youth Council has been able to achieve, and I'll give you a chance to do so at this time. But also tell us this, one of the challenges around the National Youth Council has been the issue of elections, and I hope you'll weigh in on that even as you talk about the successes as well. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, my host today. I want to say National Youth Council is a body that the brain behind it was to provide young people with a voice, so that the voice can be well articulated between what the young people of this country want and what the government needs to come in. So it is a bridge.
So you serve as a bridge?
Yes, we do serve as a bridge.
Okay.
And we do this by engaging young people, having dialogue with young people, and getting their views and communicating the same to the government. And assist the government in coming up with interventions that will actually address the need of the young people. When it comes to the controversial issue about elections, I want to say that is something that we faced as National Youth Council, because when you look at it, our grassroots, our organal structure, we need representation until the grassroots. That will mean we start elections from that low level up all the way. So we've had issues where elections are contested. We go to the streets and all that. But I would want to say, as we speak right now, with the new leadership of our CS, we are in the process of actually reviewing our act to make sure that our house is in order, so that elections are no longer the stories of every day, but we actually achieve the agenda of the young people of this country.
So there's a timeline now, there's a roadmap to this.
Yeah, there is a roadmap. As we speak right now, we've done the draft of the draft bill. As we speak now, it's already the parliament. So we expect our MPs, and I will urge also our MPs who are listening to us, they come in, we push this bill so that as we speak right now, we get new leadership to actually champion for the youth voice of this country.
Okay. CS, you've heard what they've had to say, and I can give you a chance to respond to that. But also tell us this, we are counting down to International Youth Day in the next couple of days. We had another celebration, a similar one last year. And I know you went around the country. I think finally the day was celebrated in Kisii.
Yes.
In Kisii, and there were various things that were discussed there, and young people asked questions. They said, we want guarantees on paid internships, we want TVET scholarships, among other things. How far would you say the implementation of some of these things that were discussed are? Because some would say you celebrate when you've seen the implementation of things that were discussed in the past. I can give you a chance now to talk a little bit about those.
Thank you very much, Maura. The International Youth Day is celebrated every year. This is a day set up by United Nations just to reflect on the gains made by the youth. That means youth agenda is a global agenda. And for that reason, Kenya being a member state of the United Nations, we have been celebrating United Nations Youth Day, where we kind of demonstrate or showcase what the government has done in partnership with other private sector in terms of empowering the youth. You mentioned that last year we also celebrated International Youth Day, and I'm happy to say that we don't just celebrate, but we want to take stock and demonstrate to Kenyans what we are doing. Last year's theme was safe spaces for the youth so that they can participate in their empowerment, and some of the promises that were made, I think we have already gone ahead and implemented. You mentioned one of them is
one was paid internships.
Paid internship, through Public Service Commission. Only this week we have advertised 3,200 positions for internship. That is in the public service, and other private sector also will be coming up with a paid internship, which we are giving a stipend of about 25,000, so that even anybody who is coming from far-flung areas, maybe like Eastern, they'll be able to take an internship so that it
introduces... Is the figure they'll receive public knowledge? Was it in part of the advert?
It is part of the advert.
Okay.
And it says a stipend will be given, which means that is the government thinks about everyone so that they will be able to participate in the internship, because this is where they identify what they are passionate on, what careers they can take, and it's about 1 year. I think that is something that we can report as a result of the International Youth Day last year. We are able to do that. This year's theme is saying transforming education. And what we can see that Kenya is ahead. Even when United Nations came up with the theme of transforming education, Kenya was already thinking, since education is what helps people to transform from one socioeconomic status to another, we already fit in that global thinking. So it validates our thinking that what Kenya is doing in reforming education is the right thing to do, so that education should be able to empower the youth by giving them like those liberal thinking in education, critical thinking, and being able to problem solving. And then thereafter you can see what other skills do you need to bring at education maybe at the vocational level, so that youth can be empowered. Moreover, you know, empowerment is a process. So it requires a long-term planning so that the youth will be able to look at what they can be able to do as far as education is concerned, and what, when they finish school, what they can be able to participate, so that one, they feel comfortable making their own decisions, and at the same time helping to make a contribution in the society and the community. Regarding the youth empowerment program, I think it's very important to notice that's the only program that sponsors people who have dropped out of Standard 8. That means the government has considered with the World Bank and other partners, those people who nobody would think about them, those who dropped out of Standard 8, you can see to go and apply youth empowerment program, opportunity program, and you'll get training, you'll get a grant, and you have attachment so that you can be able
even if your qualification was a Standard 8
even if
qualification.
You don't even have a certificate. And then you can also, because all other programs, they will have a minimum. So which means we are considering that in the spirit of leaving no one behind, you even look for those girls who dropped out of school because of maybe pregnancy and they're able to go back to school. Besides the program, besides the Youth Enterprise Fund, CUP, and NYC, you can see even we still have national youth service, which every year takes more than 10,000 recruits, and they empower them through skill training, parametric, vocational, and then service to the community.
Fair enough. And we have some representatives here who I know will be speaking, but let me also introduce my co-host Mashirima Kapombe, who will help get the views of the audience here today. Mashirima.
Na Mwahiga, wacha tuanzie na hapo ambapo waziri amekomea kuhusiana na wale ambao wamefaidi kutokana na hazina mbalimbali za vijana katika serikali. Nataka sasa kumpatia nafasi Chepngetich Koech. Tueleze wewe ulichukua mkopo wa aina gani, ilikuwa lini?
Thank you very much. My name is Chepngetich Koech.
Can you be a bit louder?
My name is Chepngetich Koech. I'm a beneficiary of Youth Fund. I took the loan last year in October, and after 12 weeks I got the funds.
Kuna vijana ambao wakikusikiza wanaona kama kwao imekuwa vigumu. Nini ambacho ulifanya tofauti wewe ili uweze kupata mkopo huu?
Actually, there's nothing that can be done differently to get. All you do is work to any sub-county office for Youth Fund. You'll be able to be given forms. You'll be guided on how to fill if you're not able to. And from there, you can access the fund if you meet all the qualifications.
Kwa hivyo ulipata mkopo wa shilingi ngapi na uko katika biashara gani hivi sasa?
I got 2 million. I do run M-Pesa as well as an entertainment company. Yes.
Sasa hebu nimpatie nafasi mwingine ambaye anahisi kuwa hizi taarifa kuhusiana na hazina mbalimbali haziwafikii wengine. Chochi.
Naam. Shukrani sana Mashirima.
Naomba ongea na sauti kidogo.
Mimi kwa maoni yangu naona uhamasisho upo wa kutosha ndio vijana wajue hii siku hakika ni yao, ukilinganisha na siku zingine kama Father's Day, hata hii nyingine ya Mother's Day. Wamama wanajisikia labda wanapoletewa zawadi. Serikali hasa kwa CS uhamasisho upi vijana pia wajisikie. Kuna wale wako huko nyumbani na wajui hii siku ya International Youth Day ni gani, hawajisikia ni nini. Uhamasisho upi mtafanya ndio pia wao wajue hii siku ni yao.
Nadhani hilo swali lijibiwe kwanza kabla sijaenda katika pembe nyingine ya ukumbi huu wa Higa.
Okay, CS, nadhani umesikia swali. How can young people out there watching us from across the country really feel represented, really feel that International Youth Day is for them? And right now there's a rolling argument, CS, and I know you've been discussing this on other programs as well. There are two arguments. One is that for young people who don't have jobs, they are blaming the government. They are saying a conducive environment has not been created for them. But those on the other end are saying youth are obsessed with a certain caliber of jobs, of which are not enough. How do you find middle ground when you have two contrasting views about the state of the nation when it comes to youth employment?
Okay, thank you very much. Let me start with where the youth are saying, how do they get to own the International Youth Day or International Youth Week so that they feel it is their day to celebrate within that week, and also to get to know about the opportunities that are within the country that they can exploit. The International Youth Day is on 12th August. But the activities start right from tomorrow, which is 6th. We are starting by being in Embu County, where we are launching youth empowerment centers. The aim of the government is to have 290 youth empowerment centers in every constituency, that you can go to your youth empowerment center, you'll be able to access a kind of ICT-enabled environment. You can be able to do sports, you should be able to get some counseling, and you should be able to access information. So the fact that every constituency should have a youth empowerment center, and right now about 152 are operation. So in Embu we are launching one so that the youth can feel there are facilities that they can be able to participate. The other question where the youth are feeling, yes, I have gone to school, I have passed well, or the type of grade I got, and I need a job. That is kind of feeling that that is how the education system prepared them to go and get a job. But that model has since changed, that we find that for anybody to be able to get a job, you must have a skill that you can sell. That's what the employers are looking for. Therefore, that's why the theme of transforming education is very appropriate for this International Youth Day, because we are saying what kind of education then do we need to have in our country so that the youth will always be able to recognize, one, what they are good at, what they are passionate at, so that they can develop that as a career. You align it with their careers. So that is very, very important, that maybe the past education has not been very, very useful against a very changing work environment where we are finding the amount of getting jobs. You said it's true that we have 5 million people looking for a job every year. At least 5 million people. And we can only produce, even if the economy worked very hard, we can only get 1 million. So we already have a deficit of 4 million. Therefore, the model that we had the jobs in the past, when I went to school, I knew if I finished my degree, I'll get a job. That is no longer the case, because there are fewer jobs. The economy is not growing to the extent to produce the number of jobs. Therefore, we must think, and this is not a Kenyan concept only, within the continent and globally. So we must then go back to education, which is transforming, that can be able to have the youth more of a lifelong learning, that they'll be able to change and understand the environment that is now currently being influenced a lot by change of technology, climate change, and also demography. Those changes are all bringing changes in our thinking, and we need to prepare our youth through education and can make them fit for the purpose.
Thank you. Let's get some more questions now, Mashirima.
Na mwata sasa nimpatie nafasi Dickson Salano kabla sija kwenda kwa Lawrence Njugi, ili yaweze kutueleza tu kauli yake kuhusiana na masuala ya elimu ambayo watu wanapata pamoja na ule ujuzi ambao wanahitaji wakienda kutafuta kazi. Dickson.
Well, I'm Dickson Salano. Ninaenda kudirect my question to CS Public Service and Gender Youth plus National Youth Council CEO Roy, from the community I come from, kuna a lot of youth wanashindwa what is happening, and is the government doing enough for the youth? Like being felt, they are being felt out in certain forums, events and jobs, even appointment, yet they make majority of the population of this nation. By this, I consider the late census job, which only seem to benefit individuals who took leaves and offs in their workplace, leaving most youth not getting the opportunity. What are the ministry doing? Thank you.
Okay. You've got that question?
Yeah.
Okay. Mashirima, there was another one, or we
Wacha nichukue hili lingine, manake ni swali ambalo nadhani litaweza kujibiwa na Bwana Josiah hapo. Lawrence, simama tafadhali. Nitakushikia.
My name is Lawrence Kabunyi, and my question will go to everyone across the board. All your agencies are collecting information, and I think the message coming across is that there seems to be a disconnect with our curriculum. It's only producing graduates who are only white-collar job related. Are you guys passing this information to government? And if government is getting it, Madam CS, what is being done to address the situation in the short term.
Okay, and I believe, Mashrima, just a quick one. He had some information that he posted on social media last week. I would like him to share that also briefly, if he can, with that question. Go ahead. You shared your entrepreneurship experience. How was it for you?
It's been bad because the system seems to be working against the youth.
Give us specifics. What did you try and what happened?
If you look at poultry farming, the feeds have been overtaxed. Because now if you look, it's easier to land an egg. It's cheaper to land an egg in Nairobi from Kampala than to actually produce it here. Also, I really think the farmers are not being protected. Because if you look at, say, tomato farmers, potato farmers, every year we find them in a situation where they have to throw away their produce, or we are leaving them to the mercies of the brokers. Why can't the government identify the areas of production? If it is a tomato production area, why don't we have a factory for value addition?
Okay. Yes. So you tried poultry farming and other methods of farming, and they have not provided with you the benefit that you were looking for?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. I believe we can take that now. Jose, I think let's start with you. You've had some of the challenges, and he has got a lot more details that he posted on his social media, but he's keeping it quite simple for now. Go ahead and respond.
Thank you so much for that question. And first and foremost, let's agree that the government cannot create enough jobs for all the youth in this country. And one of the solutions that the government designed was the creation of the youth fund. Actually, we were created purposely to enable the youth be job creators as opposed to job seekers. The 5 million that are always on the streets looking for jobs, they can easily find an alternative in the youth funds, where they come in, they get their funding, and then they do business. I want to respond to the question that Lawrence has raised, and the question is very pertinent. And one of the things, you go through our curriculum, one of the things that we train the young people is cost reduction when you are doing business. I know the challenge that is facing is how to minimize the cost, because definitely you cannot make money if you do not know on how you minimize your cost of production. And I want to agree, it's a challenge that is facing majority of the Kenyan youth. They go into business the first year, the second year, they are out of business. It's a challenge that we appreciate, and we are developing a curriculum towards addressing that, so that we are able to reach out to majority of the young people and engage them on how we can mitigate on that. One more thing I want to add that Chemketich talked about is actually she got a loan as an individual. And it's good to mention that as a fund, we have loans available for groups and individuals. How the loans have been structured is that you begin from a small amount and you grow, and we grow together as a fund, so that we are at a point where you are able to do your business alone. Okay. We have group loans that begin from 100,000 Kenyan shillings, where the young people share ideas. And completely in that case, we don't even want anything as security, conventional security. We only want people coming together and having a common idea, and then we assist them to develop. When they are 2 or 3 together, they are able to mitigate some of the challenges that Lawrence
And this amount, 100,000, has proven enough for the kind of businesses the youth are presenting to you?
Actually, formerly what we used to do was 50,000 actually for 15 youth. But today, the number that we take is 5 youth benefiting 100,000 as the first loan. The thinking behind that is that we grow together with the youth. Okay. Once you take 100,000, you invest small, we grow with you to 200,000, we grow up to 1 million. And take note that it's only 5 members, which is very good for the young people. But still, those ones who want to pursue individual business interests, they can still come and borrow as individuals.
Okay. We'll interrogate that information further. CS, I know I also need to give you a chance to speak. Can we do that after the break? Let's take a quick break, and then we'll be back here from CS and get more questions. Mashrima.